I'll just come right out and say it. $70 ruined this direct. Okay, maybe ruined is too strong a word, but if that hadn't happened, I would have come out of this direct feeling better than ever about being a Switch owner. Put that $70 price point for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom aside, and this may have been the best Nintendo Direct that has ever been dropped, which in and of itself leaves me struggling to sort out where it might have come from. The obvious realistic answer is that it's a baseless and cynical cash grab. Nintendo sees Sony and Microsoft making the move to $70 with no meaningful consequences, and decided to do the same with arguably the most important game in the Switch's lifespan. And it's that last part that really makes it such a point of contention. If Nintendo had waited for a generational transition to make the jump in price, it would be completely uncontroversial because it tracks with established industry practice, but because there's a long-standing benchmark in the cost of AAA Switch games in particular, and they're breaking that ceiling, the backlash they're facing is perfectly well-founded. Launch a new system if you want to justify a price hike. Another possibility is that they could just be implementing the premium due to the game's prolonged development cycle, which is also worthy of derision. Things going wrong over the course of a game's development, requiring more budget to be added to it, is no excuse to take it out on us at the counter. If that's where this is coming from, I'm terrified about what Metroid Prime 4 could bring when the time comes. Alternatively, this could be Nintendo angling to wean us off of physical games. Now you might be thinking that they should just be pricing digital copies below physical ones if that's the case, but honestly, that's what they're doing. The return of vouchers is conspicuous at best in its timing, because it didn't go unnoticed to me that Tears of the Kingdom is itself voucher eligible, effectively knocking the price of the game down to $50, not just $60. Assuming my theory about Metroid Prime 4, vouchers would then amount to a $40 discount for anyone willing to use them to buy it and Tears of the Kingdom digitally. Beware of the potential consequences if you think about taking them up on this deal. Finally, there's the possibility that I would actually find acceptable, and that would be if Tears of the Kingdom has to ship on a record-breaking game cartridge. As a child of the 80s and 90s, I understand the correlation between cartridge capacity and cost, and if Tears of the Kingdom is fixing to break the cart capacity record, that's what would actually convince me that the price point is justified, because I would much rather pay $10 more for a fully physical copy of a Zelda game than buy it at $60 with the dreaded download required labeling on it. I don't imagine there are many of us in the Switch community who see this as anything short of a long-term purchase, and that would make dependence on download servers a worst-case scenario that must be avoided at all costs, even if a price hike is required. In which case, though, the lack of transparency on this front is maddening, and Nintendo could do a lot to quell the controversy surrounding the price point simply by coming out with some kind of explanation. At least something better than the case-by-case basis that they talked about before. Of course, I lucked out by having a pre-order in hand from Amazon just in time, so I'll personally be paying just $60 when the game drops in May, but it's something I'm keeping a close eye on as someone deeply invested in the Switch as a whole. This week is the first time I've felt anything besides wonderful about going in on the Switch so thoroughly, and while I don't regret that investment necessarily, or feel like it has undermined the Switch's standing as the perfect main console in all of modern gaming, the sense of idealism that surrounded it up to this point is noticeably diminished. I'll figure it out. That's all for now. If you like this video, then please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe as it helps the channel grow. Click the notification bell to know exactly when the next video comes down. Until next time, I'm Patrick Mifflin, sounding off.